It is NFL wildcard weekend. We're going to break down all 6 matchups. Let's talk about them right now. And welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Watsu-K99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. If you're returning, a like is very much appreciated. Thank you. So let's talk a little bit about Wild Card Weekend. We're going to break down these 6 playoff matchups, but before we do that, we're going to take one quick look at our confidence picks. All year long, I've been making my picks for every single game here. And for the playoffs, it's not going to be any different, but the confidence part of the season is over. So let's do a quick recap. For Week 18, we went 11-5 overall, 106 points out of a possible 136, which I'm very pleased with. It's very difficult to pick these games on Week 17, but we did pretty well. So for the season, we had a final record of 177 wins, 92 losses, so right around 2/3 of the games we picked correctly. And for total points, we got 1,474 out of 2,052 points. But where that ranks us overall, the 95.4% bracket. We went up 1.2 percentage points. So to finish in the 95% bracket of all players, I feel pretty good about that. So let's go on and talk right now about the NFL wildcard games. So we got 6 matchups to take a look at here. Going to go into a little more depth than I usually do when I got to break down 16 games. So first of all, we've got the Seattle Seahawks at the San Francisco 49ers. I'm taking the Niners, and this is the easiest pick of the week for me. The Niners have beaten the Seahawks in 2 previous meetings this year by a combined score of 48-20. The Niners have won 10 games straight. I said when they got Christian McCaffrey, they were ready to go on a roll and take this division over, and that's exactly what has happened. The 49ers, one of those wins, by the way, was with Brock Purdy starting, so it wasn't with Jimmy Garoppolo. One was with Brock Purdy, and he is developing an incredible connection with tight end George Kittle. He has thrown 7 touchdowns to George Kittle in 4 weeks. And the Seahawks defense, well, they've taken quite a blow losing linebacker Jordan Brooks to an ACL. He got hurt in that unmentionable game against the Jets. But on the other side of the ball, I just don't think the Seattle offensive line can hold up against the San Francisco defense. I don't think Geno Smith's going to have a good game. Here's a Geno Smith stat for you. This season, he had an incredible year. I mean, all the credit to him. 4,282 passing yards. That's the most in Seahawks history. More than Dave Craig, more than Russell Wilson, more than Matt Hasselbeck, you name the guy. But he only averaged 217 yards per game passing against San Francisco, as opposed to 256 yards per game against all other opponents. So, and hey, if the Niners win, I encourage all Jets fans to troll Jamal Adams on Twitter because, well, he's a jerk and he deserves it. Especially since he played absolutely no role in Seattle's march to the playoffs. I got to be honest, I wish Green Bay was in this game. I think it would have made it a lot more fun. Or even if Detroit could have made it, that would have been a fascinating matchup. But, hey, it's still a division matchup, but I'm taking the Niners to win this game. Game number 2, the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego against the Jacksonville Jaguars of London, England. I wish this game was not played by the clock. I wish it wasn't a 60-minute game. With these 2 quarterbacks, I wish they could do the first team to get 35 points wins the game. You know, it would be so much fun. Trevor Lawrence against Justin Herbert, 2 of the brightest young quarterbacks in the league. For the first time, they're going head-to-head in the playoffs, but I've got a feeling it's not going to be the last time that these 2 go at it. You know what? I'm going with the Jaguars in this game. The Jaguars' defense has been getting better by the week. I'm really nervous about Mike Williams missing this game with a fracture in his back. He really helps make that Chargers offense go. As good as Keenan Allen is, Mike Williams just is that big physical receiver who I really, really like. And I wonder about Joey Bosa. You know, he re-aggravated his groin injury, and taking him off the field, that would be a big loss if he's not able to go against Jacksonville. And here's the other factor. When you've got two teams that are very inexperienced in terms of playoff games and pretty young for the most part, what does it come down to? To me, it's coaching. And I'm going with the coach who's won a Super Bowl in Doug Peterson as opposed to Brandon Staley. So give me the Jaguars to win this game. Game number 3, we go to the Sunday ones, the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. Give me Buffalo for sure. These two teams split their regular season matchups. There's no to it in this game, though. Raheem Mostert broke his thumb last week against the Jets. Don't know if he's going to play. And let's be real, it took pure incompetence from the Jets to get the Dolphins in this game. If the Dolphins were playing anything resembling a professional football team, they'd be sitting at home right now, and the Pittsburgh Steelers would be heading to Buffalo this week. And Josh Allen, this is interesting. Josh Allen averaged 352 passing yards with 7 touchdowns and no interceptions against the Dolphins this year. I don't see how the Bills don't score 30 points against this Dolphins D. And on the other side, let's look at the Miami offense. So Miami averages 25.5 points per game when Tua plays quarterback. When he doesn't, just 16.3. That is stark. So don't expect the hobbled Miami offense to put up a lot of points against the second-ranked defense in the league, especially in below freezing temperatures, which are expected this Sunday in Buffalo. For Miami, their left tackle, Terron Armstead, his status remains uncertain. Xavier Howard, who inexplicably got a first-team All-Pro vote. I have no idea how that happened. He didn't look 100% this past week after missing Week 17 with a knee injury. And also, Miami is just not a disciplined team. They beat themselves. They took the second most penalties in the league this year. That's not going to help matters. So I'm feeling very confident in Buffalo. All right, game number 4. This may be one of the most fun games to watch. The New York Giants at the Minnesota Vikings. These two teams played each other on Christmas Eve, and the Vikings needed a 61-yard field goal by Greg Joseph to win it. The Giants gained 448 yards of offense that day. They probably could have won the game, and I think this time they will win the game. I am picking the Giants to defeat Minnesota in Minneapolis and head on to Philadelphia. What I really like is Wink Martindale. He is such a good defensive coach. His blitz schemes, and who's he going against? Kirk Cousins, the most hit quarterback in the NFL this season. When the Giants played the Vikings, here's a number. The Giants blitzed on 43% of Kirk Cousins' dropbacks. They sacked him 4 times and hit him on 9 additional occasions. Now, in the playoffs, I know Kirk Cousins has a lot of haters. He's 1-3 in the playoffs, but this is the first time he's playing a home playoff game. So that should be, maybe that'll change things up, but the Giants defense is really getting healthy. You know, they were returning Adoree Jackson at cornerback, Azeez Ojulari at linebacker, very good pass rusher. Leonard Williams is supposed to be back. Xavier McKinney, the safety, is back to full reps in practice. But I would say with the Vikings offense, everyone's going to talk about Justin Jefferson, and justifiably so. But watch out for T.J. Hawkinson, the tight end they got from Detroit. Against the Giants, he had 109 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. The Giants have to have a better plan to stop T.J. Hawkinson. Now, as far as another thing with the Giants defense, pay attention to their secondary. They committed this year 26 penalties for pass interference, illegal contact, and defensive holding. Those 3 penalties, that's the 4th most in the league. Why am I mentioning that? Because the Vikings offense leads the league in drawing those 3 penalties over the course of the season. A lot of that has to do with Justin Jefferson. So watch out for the Giants to get a lot of penalties on the defensive side of the ball, particularly in the secondary. They got to be disciplined there. But here's the thing. To me, it really is about intangibles. The Vikings have a way of losing these just heartbreaking playoff games that make no sense. I can't see a scenario where this game does not come down to the final possession, and I think Brian Daboll is just a fantastic head coach, and they'll find a way to win this particular game. I'm not saying the Giants are better talent-wise, but you know what? Weird things tend to happen in the playoffs. The Vikings have won all these one-score games all season long, so you know what? I'm going to say that they're going to find a way to lose a one-score game in the playoffs because the league is just that crazy. So I'm taking the Giants for the upset. Game number 5. Let's go to the Baltimore Ravens at the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm taking Cincinnati. The Bengals are looking to win playoff games in back-to-back postseasons for the first time in franchise history. Once again, Baltimore will not have Lamar Jackson. His knee is, by his own words, unstable. Tyler Huntley should be playing quarterback, and he has been terrible the last couple of weeks. The Bengals have ripped off 8 straight victories. They are incredibly hot right now. And while the Ravens do have a very good defense, especially with Roquan Smith there to stop Joe Mixon and the running game, I can't see the Ravens turning it around on offense against the Cincinnati defense that has allowed under 20 points per game during that 8-game win streak. I definitely think Cincinnati puts up 24, 27 points, somewhere in that area. I don't think Baltimore can get to 20. Now, I do think the one thing Baltimore can do is run very well with J.K. Dobbins. So if I'm the Cincy defense, I'm loading up on stopping him and daring Tyler Huntley to beat my defense deep. And I think that's going to be enough. I think Cincinnati wins this game. It's got to be. Would it really be the playoffs if Buffalo and Cincinnati didn't play? After that last game got canceled, it would almost just feel wrong if Buffalo didn't play Cincinnati at some point in the playoffs, in my opinion. Okay, one more game to go. I don't think anybody's going to have any interest in this one. The Dallas Cowboys at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday Night Football. I have gone back and forth on this one, as have a lot of people. And I'm going with Dallas. I'm going with Dallas. No, not because my dad is a Cowboys fan and I kind of want to see his team do well. But you know what? Here's the thing. The Cowboys have lost to the Buccaneers to open the season each of the last 2 years. The Cowboys have lost 8 straight playoff games on the road. But I just think that Tampa Bay has never found their groove. And the bottom line is Todd freaking Bowles is their head coach. I can't imagine Todd Bowles winning a playoff game. And not against a team as talented as Dallas. Now, Tampa Bay has scored more than 23 points only one time in the last 8 games. They average 3.6 yards per first down rush. That's tied for the worst in the league. They can't run the ball. This is all about Dallas to me. They are the ultimate Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde team. When they play well, they're amazing. They can play with anybody. When they play poorly or when they don't care, they stink. I think if they lose this game, Mike McCarthy's going to be out. I think he's going to be out of a job if they can't win this first game. But there's one stat that I keep coming back to when I look at this game. And I really looked at some numbers because I was trying to find what is the definitive stat that could affect this game. Here's what it is to me. The Cowboys rank second in both pass rush win rate, 52.1% of the time they get pressure on the quarterback when they rush the passer, and sack rate, 8.6% of the time, and they finished first in pressure percentage. 39% of the time they pressure the quarterback. This offensive line has not been protecting Tom Shady. I don't see how they're going to do it against this particular defense. And as long as they can hit Brady, as long as they get that pressure, I think that's going to force turnovers, and the short field will suit Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. By the way, I mentioned how good the Cowboys were at rushing the passer. The Buccaneers ranked 24th in pass blocking this season. Not good enough. Now, I will say the Cowboys better be up at least, 11 or 12 points with 5 minutes to go, or I'm going to be very, very nervous. I can't deny that the Tampa Bay has managed to pull off a whole lot of, last-minute victories that they had no business getting. But you know what? I still think if Dak Prescott doesn't screw this game up with turnovers, if Dallas doesn't take penalties, that'll be enough. Tampa Bay is not going to beat Dallas in this game. Only Dallas can beat Dallas in this game. All right, so again, my picks, give me the 49ers over the Seahawks, the Jaguars over the Chargers, the Bills over the Dolphins, the Giants over the Vikings, the Bengals over the Ravens, and the Cowboys over the Buccaneers. Well, I want to hear your thoughts. In the comments, feel free to put your picks down below. Do you have any upset picks, any games that you particularly disagree with me on? That's cool. Let's talk about it. It's going to be an exciting week of football. Thanks for watching. I'll see you back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair.